What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman
and Tyler Lavalette
from the studio here in Waterford, bringing you yet another Friday Roundtable. Let's get the show on the road with. Well, what do you know? More baseball talk.
Unfortunately, this talk is not all good news. The Tigers have only won one game going back in an 11-game stretch, and have even gotten swept by the Seattle Mariners and Pittsburgh Pirates, and lost last night to the Toronto Blue Jays. And things have not been going well. No longer have the best record in baseball. The lead is now down to 8 in the Central. Oh, and Toronto just took over as the best team in the American League. And not to mention Kerry Carpenter is hurt, and many of the key guys that we sent down to Atlanta have been in a bit of a rough patch heading out of the All-Star break.
This Tigers team has all the makings of a team that right now, still a great baseball team. Just right now, they need that flicker or that spark. Anything, turn the flicker into a flame, or get the spark that gets things rolling again. The Tigers right now, they need something to get back on track, because as Tyler has mentioned, things are not going well coming out of the All-Star break for the Tigers. I mean, they've won one game in the last, I believe, 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, 11 or so.
Yeah, so, hey, no need to panic too much. Just need something, whether it's a lineup change or rotating some pieces in between. Management for the Tigers just needs to do something that turns the flicker into flame, or the spark into that gets things going for the Detroit Tigers. They're just lacking that spark right now, and who knows? That spark could come at the trade deadline.
We'll see what happens next Thursday when that happens. But one key contributor, Kerry Carpenter, has been injured on the injured list, but is doing rehab starts in Toledo. I hope to see him back on the team pretty soon. That might be a help. And while we're at it, I heard that the Cubs have not been doing too well either in this stretch of July.
Yeah, much like the Tigers, things have not been going too well for the Cubs either. While they're still in position to make the playoffs, they've just lost control of the NL Central to the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers, who are playing really, really good baseball. Granted, the Cubs they're behind by only one game, but definitely they got their work cut out for them. I mean, that's not necessarily, like I said, not all bad news. It's just they haven't been able to, so far, in terms of like their wins and losses, they haven't been able to put together enough wins to stave off this red-hot Milwaukee team, who's just been on a roll since the start of July. And also, like I said, not all bad news. At least one Cub is still rolling. Can we see the clip, please, of Mr. Pete Crow Armstrong with a big-time home run? His 27th of the season. Incredible. So far, even with the Cubs struggling a little bit, this guy has not lost a beat. He's still got people with the MVP chance going.
At least you got that bright spot. That's something that you can have that to hold on to right now in these tough times in the north side of Chicago. They're not as bad as it is in Detroit, but hopefully the fact that this is happening now and not in September is something to be proud of. Now, if these problems happen in September, then you worry. But right now, still in good contention for both teams, and still plenty of time to figure things out.
Yes, indeed. And, hey, Tyler Lavalette said it best, too. The regular season in the MLB, it's never a sprint. It's always a marathon. You're going to have some bumps. You're going to have some parts of the regular season where you're going to have a slower pace as opposed to a faster pace, and you're going to lose some games. It happens. And you know what? And once again, as long as you make the playoffs, anything goes. Both these two teams still in playoff contention, and, they could right the ship. And, the Cubs, they could retake the NL Central, and the Tigers, they could get way red hot going into October. Like, say, August, they find their stride in August, and then September, they just absolutely kill it going into the postseason.
Yeah, I'm not pressing any panic buttons yet because these things happen. It's the dog days of summer, as they say. So we'll see how this happens going into August and September. Those next 2 months are going to be crucial to set yourself up for October baseball. Could we see ourselves as one of the seeds getting a bye? Do we be lucky to be a wild card team, whether hosting games or being on the road again, like against Houston, or worst case scenario, not make the playoffs at all? We'll see.
Indeed, we will. And to close the subject off, bless you, Tyler. Dog days of summer. I'm feeling that too. Dog days of summer. Two more points to close off this subject. One, okay, the Cubs, they got a chance to really gain some ground on the Milwaukee Brewers. They are playing the White Sox. Of course, granted, they'll be at right field in the south side of Chicago, but you're playing the White Sox. Golden opportunity to win 3 in a row and put some more pressure on the Milwaukee Brewers. And two, there's the deadline too. I have a gut feeling inside that the Chicago Cubs are going to be massive buyers at the deadline. They're going to look for a big-time piece to help them get over the slump and also help them make a push to the World Series this season.
I feel like there's some possibility of buying for the Tigers as well. We'll see what happens, and we'll definitely recap what our two teams did for the deadline next Friday because it expires on the end of July 31st, next Thursday.
Indeed, a sign of things to come for the podcast. Mm-hmm. And shifting gears, not away necessarily from baseball, this is still baseball news. We have coming up the 2025 MLB Classic. And how about this for a venue? One of NASCAR's most historic tracks, the Bristol Motor Speedway. This place has hosted college football games before. The first one it hosted was Virginia Tech and Tennessee, of course, Tennessee being the home team. But this is the venue's first try at hosting a baseball game. Your thoughts, Tyler?
I remember watching the live announcements, and it was pretty awesome to see this happening for Bristol Motor Speedway to host the Speedway Classic between the Reds and the Braves. And both teams are doing some pretty special NASCAR-inspired uniforms. And it's going to be a pretty decent crowd for capacity, all things considered. Yeah, some of the track's infield buildings had to be demolished to make way for this, but Bristol Motor Speedway is going to get some new replacement stuff in time for the fall race in the playoffs, so it's a win-win. Bristol gets to host baseball, and they get upgraded building facilities once it's done. Like I said, win-win. And as far as the two teams going, Braves aren't exactly doing bad, but they're not exactly leading the NL East anytime soon. Reds are doing okay, but we'll see. Either way, this is going to be a fun game is up in early August on a Saturday night, the 2nd of August, I think. It's going to be fun for the Speedway Classic.
Yep, this will be an interesting matchup, too, an interesting choice of teams. I mean, you got, as Tyler mentioned, the Atlanta Braves, who are coming from probably the biggest market from the South in Atlanta, and then you got the Cincinnati Reds, who are just along that border between Ohio and Kentucky. Uh-huh. So, from a geography standpoint, I do like the choices. And with that being said, of course, I'll take a closer look at the uniforms when I get a chance, but why not go with something that's a little more racy since in honor of the venue that you're going to be playing a baseball game at in Bristol Motor Speedway. Another thing I would like to make note of is, this is the first time that a baseball diamond is going to be put into Bristol Motor Speedway. And the stands at Bristol, they rise up pretty high, to say the least. So there's going to be some challenges with capacity. Like big question is, how much do the people at Bristol expect this whole stadium to fill up, including nosebleeds? I mean, this might be, for lack of better words, Tal Havilet, nosebleed central.
Yeah, not to mention that track and the racetrack itself is it means you won't be able to see it up close and personal unless if I'm looking at things correctly. It's almost like those old concrete donut multi-purpose stadiums that housed both MLB and NFL games and didn't shoot either back in the day.
Without a doubt there. And of course, should this endeavor be successful? This is a thought that's been racing through my mind since learning about this MLB Classics. Racing through my mind. Yeah, no, okay. I didn't mean to play on words there, but yes, take it as a joke as you will. Okay, fine. We'll just go with it.
Thank you.
Yep. If the MLB experience actually finds success here at Bristol Motor Speedway, like if a good crowd shows up and the game is entertaining and just everything works out, I would love to see Bristol Motor Speedway, no joke about this, I'd love to see Bristol Motor Speedway host an outdoor NHL game or an outdoor hockey game of sorts. Maybe, just maybe, the Winter Classic. And if in the event, say, the Nashville Predators actually get a shot to host it, maybe Bristol becomes sacred grounds for another Winter Classic. I mean, Michigan Stadium is one example they could learn from, and then you got Notre Dame Stadium, which is in Indiana, and they hosted the Blackhawks and the Bruins. And you know what? If we can have a successful baseball experience at Bristol, I just don't see why we can't have a successful Winter Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway.
We'll see. We have to see what happens. We had the success of those of that football game you talked about earlier as well. So there's that to consider as well. So it's not like Bristol is unfamiliar with hosting these types of events, mind you.
Very well experienced, and they're getting better as they go along. I mean, whether it's with football or other kind of events, now you got baseball, of course, and as long as they can keep rolling out this positive momentum and keep succeeding with what they're given, there's a case to be said here for a Winter Classic. But for the time being, I'll keep an eye on how this this special baseball game, this MLB Classic, goes at Bristol Motor Speedway. Should be a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely. Whole country gets to see it too, so there's that.
Yeah, and just one final note. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how this game looks on TV, especially with the racetrack type of surroundings, to say the least. And to add on what Tyler said, who's to say that whatever those buildings that they demolished, Tyler, who's to say maybe they were temporary to begin with, and maybe everything that they put up at Bristol is temporary, to say the least, or some things that could be easily replaced in the future.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. I mean, it's not like they had tried to do some similar stuff for the football game back in 2016, and not to mention they got that giant colossal four-sided scoreboard there high above the track for a reason.
That thing still, looking at pictures of that thing still gives me nightmares. I still worry about the day when one of those cables snaps and the thing just comes crashing down in the infield. I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't hope that doesn't happen, but just every time I look at that goes through my mind. Like, what if that comes crashing down? What if one of the cables just snaps?
Having that giant four-sided jumbotron there is a good reason as to why they have these special events in the first place. It's one less thing to worry about having to get rid of.
Yes, indeed. And with like the hard surface and the concrete and like the hard surface around the infield, it's possible for the Speedway to host a hockey game and let alone a baseball game as well. You can set things up to whatever you need, regardless of the sporting event. Bristol Motor Speedway is as prepared as any racetrack to host anything besides racing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And now we're shifting gears. And okay, I know we talked about the Detroit Tigers, and we know we talked about bad news surrounding Michigan sports, and, well, more importantly, Detroit sports. But sports fans, and to you Detroit sports fans, I got more bad news. The Michigan Panthers are officially relocating. Wow. Just wow.
Not to mention, this affects all the so-called USFL conference because the UFL was a merger between the XFL and the reincarnation of the 1980 United States Football League. What this means is that Houston loses its team. The Birmingham Stallions, who were pretty much the darlings of the old USFL revival, they're gone. The Memphis Showboats, gone. And the Michigan Panthers are a victim to Ford Field playing hardball with rental fees, and them not exactly being willing to go to even a college football stadium like Eastern Michigan, and are likely gone. You're going to smaller markets like Columbus and Boise instead. It's just, ay.
Oh boy. So there's this with all these franchises of Tyler's. I mean, we mentioned the Panthers, but also now you got the Showboats relocating, and even the Birmingham Stallions, which that surprises me because those guys won a UFL championship, and you got the Michigan Panthers, who were two-time runner-ups. 2 years in a row they were runner-up in the UFL championship. And also I want to add this: they're even looking at adding an expansion in, brace yourself, Louisville of all places. That's right, Louisville.
And Florida, likely in the Orlando market.
I mean, the Orlando, okay, kind of makes sense, but then you got, Louisville's okay, so they're a college town, all right? They like college football and college basketball there. They got Louisville. But now you add, something like a UFL team, they're going to have to, I'm not saying they're going to contend, they won't have to contend with college basketball because the season will be over, and granted, the UFL is in the spring, but still, how are you going to be able, in a market like that, to pique people's interest in a UFL team, especially when most people at this point in the year, coming around the springtime, people are thinking about, other things that they're planning to do, like vacations and all that stuff. The problem is here in terms of the UFL, okay, fun league, but it adds to a problem when it comes to football as a sport. And that's oversaturation of the sport. The Super Bowl just ended, season's over in February, and now we're getting more football in the spring. So far, I would say it's hard to say that it's working, to say the least, for lack of better words.
Unfortunately, I feel like that's the same thing. Even if the Panthers were doing well in attendance, the fact that they couldn't use the branding on the end zones because of the Lions colors is a testament to showing the limitations they were having to work with. Now, the Detroit City Football Club and the United Soccer League has said they would be more than happy to let the revived Panthers play at their new stadium when it opens up in 2027. But we have to address a big elephant in the room. The league as a whole is not doing good. This is bad. I've been hearing a lot of reports of them having financial issues, and I question its future by having to move half of an entire conference's teams to other markets. That worries me. And this is a league that talked about expansion. Something is not right here.
This league has bigger problems or bigger white elephants in the room that they need to address before they can start talking about expansion. Right now, they need to be focusing on promoting the game much, much better, no matter which markets they have. One other thing I'd like you sports fans to keep note of is this. The Michigan Panthers actually saw an increase in attendance this year. They're one of a few teams in the UFL that actually had an attendance increase. Sadly, though, it wasn't enough to keep them here in Michigan.
And the worst part is they won the USFL conference, but weren't able to host it because the Kendrick Lamar concert at Ford Field a few days after the date of the USFL championship game and ended up being in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. Ford Field needed plenty of time to get ready for that. Ain't no way you're going to try to bump a megastar like him for lower tier football, that's for sure.
Talk about a conflict of interest. No pun intended.
No. Lamar's a big deal, so.
Yeah, he brings in the money. So, of course, he should. Ford Field's priorities are going to be getting ready for that concert, especially because that, like you said, the financial gains there is more favorable with him than as opposed to a UFL game.
Right.
Sadly, the thing is, no matter where these teams go, whether it's in Michigan or Louisville or Boise, They're going to
Even
have
Columbus for that matter.
Columbus, all those markets, no matter where they go right now, if they don't solve their financial problems, if they don't find a way to better promote the game without oversaturating football or making fans feel like, all right, we're getting football like 24/7, because sports fans, we all need a break from even our favorite sports.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't mind that I take time off from baseball in the winter.
Yep. Same with me when it comes to, say, college hoops and even the NHL. I'm appreciative of the time off because, everybody needs it. The thing is, though, if the UFL wants to make this whole thing work, they got to do a better job promoting the game, better job finding ways to sell tickets. Because if they don't, this whole thing is gonna, I could see this whole league collapsing within a year, maybe less.
Look at what happened with the Alliance of American Football. It started in 2019 in February, not long after the Super Bowl. Gone by April. Remember the urinating, Jake? Remember the urinating tree this week in sports ball episodes of it?
I think I do, and I watch those the new ones regularly, or I try to keep up with that. But I think I do remember that.
It collapsed when the league went belly up.
I think I do remember Tree being all over it.
Oh, yeah, he was.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In conclusion for this subject, look, I'm happy football season's coming back. We're almost to, we're entering training camp. We got preseason coming up, and I talked a little bit about fantasy football too, and advice. I'm hoping to do a league with my guys again. And of course, Tyler's gonna join my league again. At least I hope, if he wants to. Sorry, I assumed way too much.
Totally.
I meant to ask you if you wanted to join again. I assumed way too much.
Yes. I was going to say yes.
Yep. So planning on doing fantasy football with my guy here and anybody else who likes to do fantasy football. I gave advice there. So I'm happy to have it coming back. But you know what? We all have a time and a space for everything. And the UFL has this disadvantage going against them. But they can overcome it. But they've got to figure out, regardless of the location of their new franchises, they have got to figure out how to make money and how to sell the appeal of their brand of football.
And one more thing, I will always be thankful for the Michigan Panthers for Jake Bates. When he ended his time with them, he had offers to go to various teams, Lions included, and stayed in Detroit because that meant he could kick in the stadium he played spring football in.
That is quite an advantage too. Going into any NFL season, if you play, I mean, it's nice that the nice thing about these smaller leagues is that they have served as, in a way, farm teams for NFL teams to sign players from. But Jake Bates is probably, as Tyler mentioned, the most notable example, and he had the advantage of being able to kick in Ford Field for both seasons. Probably got a lot of insights and pretty much developed a unique habits from that.
And we, as Lions fans, really enjoy him on this team. He's all the best.
You know what? He'll continue to come up clutch, and I mean the Lions this upcoming season. I mean the Lions will be good, but they'll need him a lot. And who knows? He may end up just being probably one of the last things that the UFL is known for. Sadly, if things don't get sorted out.
Yep, but we'll see what happens.
Yes.
And before we close, there are change.org petitions circulating for both the Birmingham Stallions and Michigan Panthers. It's also worth noting that the league has not said anything official at this time, although something tells me should be getting an announcement in the next few months or so, maybe weeks. I don't know, but we'll see. The teams are treating it as business as usual based on news reports I've been seeing in Birmingham with the Stallions and their head coach, Skip Holtz, who's been saying to keep it as business as usual. But until things are announced, this is all speculation.
Hopefully, by some miracle, that both of these two teams, both Birmingham and Michigan, both of those two teams will stay put where they're at. And hopefully one of the few times I'll admit I'm rooting for the petitions to go through, because these are two teams that, even despite some the lack of success for the UFL, those two teams have found success, and then they're in all the games that they've won and the product, the brand that they've developed. So I do hope this works out. Time will tell.
Yeah, it will.
Now, before we go on to golden moments in sports, sports fans, I want to send out my condolences to the family of Hulk Hogan. For those of you who have not heard, Hulk Hogan died yesterday at the age of 71.
May he rest in peace.
And big name. And you know what? In a way, sports became as entertaining as it did because of Hulk Hogan. That's, in my opinion, one of his biggest contributions to sports, and not just to wrestling. I mean, WWE, he was the big name, especially in his prime, but he really made sports as entertaining as it was. Not just WWE, but we look for entertainment in sports, and we have Mr. Hulk Hogan to thank for that, whether it's, due to this special gesture that he came up with in his WWE days, but, really special guy, and we'll all miss him. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.
Yes, rest in peace.
And now, finally, sports fans, on to this week's golden moment in sports. So, we talked about animal incursions in sports, but some of them are very heartwarming, and some of them you can see, and you're just like, is this animal the mascot, or is he actually the manager of this baseball team? Check out this doggo at a Tampa Bay Rays game a few years back. Take a look at this. Look at this guy. That's a doodle, by the way, too. He's just sitting along the dugout. Some people are wondering, is he a fan? Look at this guy. He's giving him pointers. He's in the cart, too. If I didn't know any better, I would think this guy is the manager for the Rays. Or he should be. Look at this cute guy. Really special moment in sports. I mean, it's one thing. Sports fans, my point here is we all love our dogs. We all love our pets, and sometimes we love to do absolutely ridiculous things with our pets.
Uh-huh.
Some people like to take it a much bigger step higher and make their doggo a sideline figure for the Tampa Bay Rays, or possibly the future manager of the team.
I'm starting to see MLB clubs starting to adopt more bat dogs and what have you, like they do in the minors. So there's that. And really, that's just really adorable.
Yep. Sometimes, you know what? We need moments like these in sports, whether it's something wholesome, something funny, and this is both entertaining and wholesome, because who doesn't love for those of you who really love dogs, or doggos as I like to call them, or some people call them, who does not love to see a dog get its moment of fame?
Yeah. We all love our dogs, unless you have Algie, of course. But besides the point, we love them.
Yep. And obviously, this clip, one final thing, this clip really touches my heart because I have a Bernedoodle by the name of Maisie. I love doodles. They are, in my opinion, the best dogs on the planet. So when I see something like this just touches my heart.
I just get the fuzzies at dogs all the time. I mean, I saw a dog on the way to the studio in a Jeep Wrangler next to Mary and I were pulling up to the intersection of 59 Airport, and we saw his golden retriever in the passenger window looking at us and all happy and smiling.
Like this, Tyler? Just slowly etching his head towards you?
Basically. Just smiling.
Smile and wave.
Yep.
And sports fans, we'll have more doggo moments in the future. This promise I will make to you.
Oh, yeah. And definitely more animal moments that we mentioned, too.
Oh, yeah. With all that being said, we'd like to thank you for watching this week's Wax on Wednesday. Special thanks to my man, Tyler Lavalette, for his hard work. And special thanks to Josh, Whitney, and Mary, everybody who works here at the studio. Thank you all for your hard work. We greatly appreciate it. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for more videos like this, and Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook. And with that being said, me and Tyler are going to say goodbye. That's all for today. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wishing you all a good weekend. Take care.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Peace out.